You ever wanted to look into a crystal ball and see the future, to have your fortune told? You probably have. Most of us want to know what's coming and wonder about the future and have deep questions. So people always turn to those they call seers, those who see beyond what we can see, or prophets. We're going to be reading the prophets. We're reading through the Bible this year, looking at 40 words, and our word this week is prophet or prophecy. And so we are at Isaiah, the first of the prophetic books. And so prophets may be thought of as those who see the future, but it's not so much that. Prophets are those who are called to speak for God, who have something to say from God, and who want us to listen. They call us to obedience. And so the way the Bible is organized, the major prophets are first, the longer books, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. Lamentations is written by Jeremiah, so that's part of what we call the major prophets. And then something called the Book of the 12, or the minor prophets, 12 other prophets. And some of those you can read, and they're like a page long. But the first ones are long. And so I invite you into this journey, and I want you to listen for the way that these people all have something in common. They have a burning in their heart for people to know the truth. And I'm going to be preaching this Sunday about the call of Isaiah when he says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and lifted up, and his robe filled the whole temple. And the seraphim were surrounding him, saying, 'Holy, holy, holy.'" It's an amazing vision. And that vision of holiness is what drove him, because when he saw holiness, and then he saw the uncleanness of himself and all of those around him, he was burning to draw them toward that holiness of God and away from the pit that they were living in. And so we're going to be taking a 2-week break very soon. I'm going on vacation. And so I want to invite you to keep reading, but choose how you're going to use these next couple of weeks. There won't be a video next week. You can catch up and get to Isaiah, look at Proverbs some more, look at Song of Solomon, look at the Psalms, go back and fill in the blanks if you haven't caught up, catch up. And then you can dive into the prophets next when you're ready. But savor and take your time. As I'm going to be saying next time, scholars really believe that Isaiah was really 3 parts, because it spans such a long period of time that it couldn't have been one prophet. It couldn't have just been Isaiah. So Isaiah is listed by name at the beginning of the book, but later on there's other names and other kings. And so it's likely that there were more than one prophet that falls into this book, Isaiah. And so there's a real break at chapter 39. 1 through 39 is what's called First Isaiah. So if you're going to read in chunks, I would focus on that part next. And then take a deep breath, because the part after that is a message of hope. And it's one we need. We can't see the future, but we have the Word of God. And the Word of God is full of hope. And it ends in a garden in paradise. So we have plenty of reason to hope. And so, listen to the prophets. Happy reading.